Natural elements such as weather and topography play an important role in how military strategize and fight battles. In this episode, we'll look at how Mother Nature has influenced various battlefield scenarios. This is Battlefield 101, Environmental Elements.
Let's down, move forward!
Since the dawn of organized combat, military leaders have understood the value in occupying the high ground. During the American Civil War, this tactical use of the landscape helped turn the tide of one of the most important battles of the war, the Battle of Gettysburg. After being forced into retreat on the first day of the battle, Union forces took a 3-mile stretch of high ground just south of the town. Most notably, their left flank was positioned on a hill known as Little Round Top. On the second day, when the Confederate Army attempted to attack the left flank, Union Colonel Joshua Lawrence Chamberlain used the high ground to his advantage. Ordering his men to fix bayonets, he organized a sweeping downhill charge that successfully drove the Confederates off of Little Round Top, a move that ultimately helped turn the Battle of Gettysburg into a Union victory. During the Vietnam War, the need to launch combat operations in difficult, unforgiving terrain created new challenges for U.S. forces. In the country's thick jungles, American troops often found themselves at a disadvantage, as the dense foliage provided excellent cover for hostile forces. To help combat this use of terrain, the U.S. military attempted to defoliate parts of the countryside with a chemical mixture known as Agent Orange. In addition to jungle combat, hill fighting in Vietnam also often left the enemy with an advantage, especially in places such as Khe Sanh. On the hills surrounding the base, the North Vietnamese built hundreds of concealed bunkers in fighting positions. Heavily reinforced with earth and logs, they were able to withstand mortar, napalm, and bomb strikes, and were used to launch ambushes and sniper attacks against the Marines in the valley below. Like Vietnam, the mountains and valleys of Afghanistan also presented similar challenges in terms of hostile terrain. During Operation Anaconda in March 2002, U.S. and Allied forces were airlifted in the Shadi Kop Valley, where their orders were to flush out and pin down several hundred al-Qaeda fighters who had massed in the surrounding hills. Positioned to conceal caves and steep ridges, the insurgents used the terrain to their advantage and rained intense mortar, rocket, and small arms fire down onto the Allies. Erupting to one of the most intense fights of the Afghan War, the enemy's use of the terrain turned Operation Anaconda from a planned 72-hour action into a 2-week-long battle. In addition to topography, weather conditions can also greatly impact battlefield plans and execution. During World War II, this was perhaps most evident during the Battle of the Bulge. On December 16, 1944, the German army launched an all-out assault against Allied lines in the Ardennes region of Belgium, France, and Luxembourg. Timed to coincide with the mounting winter storm, the Germans intended to use the weather to neutralize the Allies' air power advantage. This plan worked as heavy snow, ice, and fog created poor visibility and rendered aircraft useless. It was only when the weather finally started to break on December 23rd that the Allies were able to use their superior air power to bombard the Germans and begin pushing back the offensive. Wherever the U.S. military goes, they are forced to deal with environmental elements. So what kind of future challenges do you see the U.S. facing? How do you think new technologies will impact the way we interact with our environments? Post your thoughts and opinions below.